Hello everyone, welcome to the Red Men TV. I'm Chris Pajak. This is the player ranking show. Luton 1, Liverpool 1. Not good enough is the general gist of how this video is going to go. But we are going to try and rank Liverpool's players with your help, of course. We've got three categories. We've got boss, sound, and you're messing. I think one of them is going to be fairly empty today, if I'm being frank with you. I think one of them is going to be fairly full today. It's going to be a tough one, but we start off with the goalkeeper. I mean, generally speaking, was there anyone that was boss? It's going to be tough, isn't it, to put them in there. I do think Alisson was sound, though, and probably like a little bit of a higher sound, if I'm being honest, because of the two saves that he does make. You know, one of them's an absolute worldie and stuff like that. And yeah, he was sound. He always is sound. You know, with the ball at his feet, he's sound. With facing shots, he's sound. He does keep us in the game at one point. Obviously, I don't think there's much that he could have done about their actual goal. He tries his best to get out there. And unfortunately, the ball's put in the back of the net before he's able to. There's other problems all over the pitch for that one. Marcus Ward says Alisson's distribution was good too. Yeah, I agree with that one. And Trey Sorg says Alisson was sound. So yeah, I think that's probably one of the easiest ones that we're going to do today. Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't know, man. I don't think it was a good performance. I don't think it was a terrible performance. I'm probably like sort of lower sound at the moment. Now, I disagree with where he was for large parts of the game, but that's not his fault. You know, anyone who's just watched the post-match reaction show will know that I've just said there that, you know, when Liverpool's plan is to whip balls in, I don't see the point of Trent central. I would rather have seen Trent on the right-hand side whipping balls in. Again, that's not his fault. I think from his point of view, he's had an okay game. He's not had the impact that he normally has. He's had a couple of absolutely outstanding passes. You know, that one over the top early doors for Darwin Núñez is absolutely sensational. We know he's got that in his locker. Did he grab the game by the scruff of the neck? No. Did any player really grab the game by the scruff of the neck? Maybe. Maybe one of the subs, maybe two of the subs, something like that. I expect more from Trent Alexander-Arnold, though. I think, you know, I want to see him run around, grab the ball and fire it at places and this. It was all just a little bit too slow for me today. A little bit ponderous, a little bit, yeah, just slow is probably the right word. And not enough movement around in front of them. So, yeah. But then equally, for all the good work that he did, I don't think defensively he was very good either today. I think there was a few times he was beasted. You know, Chloe mentioned it during comms and stuff that, you know, a lot of their chances came down that left-hand side for Trent and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm thinking lower sounds about right. Craig Flynn agrees with me. Freedom Journey as well. The comments aren't coming up, actually. Oh, there we go. About right on Trent there, says Freedom Journey. Zoltan says Trent's low sound. Trey says low sound. Yeah, absolutely. Davey, okay mate, all right, Reds, a draw about right today. We didn't do enough to win it. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on there, my friend. We didn't do enough to win it, and we should have done enough because we should have had a goal given, or a goal. We should have been a goal up, sorry. I'm losing the will to live here, before they'd even scored a goal. Ibu Kanate, I thought was sound. Probably mid-sound for Ibu. Now, defensively, he was there, he's on point, headers, everything else, tackles, as you expect to see. There was one where he just inexplicably let their man in, which was probably Alisson's big save. And I do think that was a little bit of luck on their players' part. He sort of dragged the ball through Kanate somehow. But then equally, for that, he also had that big, like, 70-yard run from on the edge of the penalty area to the edge of their penalty area, which is sound. Ibu didn't do anything bad, says Trey. Nothing great either. Yeah, Bob says about right. Yeah, Andrew Walker says Ibu was sound. Yeah, again, I don't really want to talk about these lads, to be honest with you. I think it's probably about the same for the captain, Virgil van Dijk. Slots in there as well. I think defensively, when the ball was aimed over at him, he dealt with it. You know, he was a calming influence at the back at times and stuff like that. Some nice switches of play. all the stuff that you would expect. The problem with Liverpool today wasn't the defence, though, was it? Even Joe Gomez, I think, probably a bit more like a Trent Alexander-Arnold, a bit more on the lower sound. Obviously, I wanted to see what he would look like at left-back. As it turned out, when we were defending, in those rare occasions, we didn't actually see Joe Gomez tuck inside that left-sided centre-half very often. It was more in transition that he was in those situations, and they never really broke out from that. So we didn't really utilise his height in the middle of the pitch and stuff like that. Joe Gomez was very much more of a left back today. When Liverpool were going forwards and stuff, and because of that, we actually saw his deficiencies as a left back, because he was cutting back in and playing the ball safe instead of, you would have hoped someone like Kostas Tsimikas was able to come in and whip the ball in. Whereas attacks down that left-hand side tended to stop with Joe Gomez, which is, I think, why the substitution was made for him. So, yeah, I feel like it was a bit of a lower sound there. Spazzy McGee says Van Dijk was a higher sound, and Mark McDonald says Van Dijk was boss. Barnabas says Van Dijk was high sound. Okay, fair enough. Mark McDonald says Gomez will score this season. I predicted him to score today. Yeah. How wrong I was. I don't think he's ever going to score for Liverpool, to be honest with you. Again, though, the defenders weren't the problem here. McAllister. I think I'm going to have to put him in your messing. There was just too many silly mistakes. And I think if you looked at his passing accuracy and all that type of stuff, you're going to see decent enough numbers. But it's those moments, like Chloe pointed out, where he's running back and he sees their goal scorer, run past him, and he's not able to go, and then he goes, and it's too late. And they're the types of things that you've got to judge him on as a 6 when he's been playing in that 6. We know it doesn't suit him. We know he's got a great passing range, but we know he can play those risky passes sometimes. But it's the spidey sense, as it were, when there's danger around. That's what he, as a 6, is lacking, unfortunately. And the amount of possession that we've had, it shouldn't be a game for the 6. Where you need a Destroyer, a Mascherano, an Andre, a Makelele type defensive midfielder. But the reason these defensive midfielders are so important to sides is because they turn draws into wins or losses into draws. And yes, it's not the type of game for a Destroyer, but if we'd have had a 6 who thinks like a DM, who thinks like someone who wants to go and get that ball back quickly, then we might have had a better result today. And it is harsh, of course, but we are where we are. Barnabas says Maka, you mess, and gave the ball away way too much and was ran over rather easily. Free Django says Maka lower. You're messing with McAllister. Endo needs a chance, said Oscar. So there you go. We move on to Ryan Gravenberch, who I thought had a really good second half, and I'm going to put him into that sort of higher stuff there. Because, again, he showcases exactly what he can do as a footballer. He likes to turn, he likes to drive at the heart of their defence and stuff like that. Wasn't really his game today, but he was definitely one of our better players, and certainly in the second half, I really thought like he was one of the ones that was going to make something happen before he was taken off the field, of course. So, yeah, again, bright sparks for Gravenberch. He is sound, and Craig says it as well. Afropia says it as well. Trey Sork says he was confident, but he lacked that final shot or pass. And Bob says he was our best player. John Winterburn, just on McAllister, worst performance I've seen from a long time. McAllister can't keep a starting place. Pacetic and Endo have to take that place. Well, we know that Pacetic is going to be out for a while. We've not put a time frame on that. Jürgen's not put a time frame on Pacetic, but Endo maybe will get an opportunity. But again, he's got such a high ceiling, McAllister, and we're not seeing him in his rightful position and stuff. Dom Sobersley, I'm going to have to put down about here as well, into the sort of lower sounds. It was probably, for me, maybe his worst performance, and it was just an okay performance from Dom. And I don't know whether that's because he looked a little bit tired today or whatever, but he wasn't able to get involved in the game in the way that he has, in the way that he's sort of controlled games in the past and stuff. Runs around, of course he does, we know that. He's fast, he's technical. But when Liverpool were playing through the middle of the park there, it was so difficult for him to be able to really exert any control on the game, and he kind of game passed him by a little bit. Ben Jones says Sobbo was your mess and worst game, give him a rest, says Little. Masha Hero as well. Dom was awful. Says McGee, and Zoltan says Sobbo was sound. Spirit says Sobbo needs a rest. Letnia Kuchnia says we're really missing Robertson. And Cushel agrees with me and says, yeah, he was lower sound. Disagree, needs to go into your messing. Says Andrew Walker, worst game in a red shirt. Jota. Diogo. Oof. See, I don't like putting players in your messing, to be honest with you. I think, like, especially Sobbers, like, even struggle putting McAllister into your messing, to be honest, because I just don't think that it was that bad a game. Like, I'm talking like 3s, 4s, and, you know, I definitely don't think Don was down there. I don't think Jota was there as well. So I'll put Jota right on the line, I think, because he didn't have enough impact in the game in any way, shape or form. You know, we've seen at times when he's been out of games that he's able to still impact them, of course, but I don't think he was able to impact it today. And I just don't think he was good enough, Diogo. But McGee says Jota was better than McAllister and Dom. Trey says they just had no impact or influence. Jota's just average, says Letnia. Not good enough. And Aku said, lad, that midfield was totally missing. Bob sent us a super chat. Thank you very much, Bob. Feels so bad for Diaz. Deserved the proper moment for his dad. But to do a little nod to him. Absolute hero of a man. Yeah, you're absolutely right, mate. So difficult for him. Darwin Núñez, I've got to put him in your messing, you know, and yeah, it's a your messing performance from Darwin, isn't it? I mean, you're messing because the lad missed an absolute sitter, unfortunately, and that's difficult to take as a fan, isn't it? It's obviously going to be difficult for him as a footballer to miss that, and, you know, ultimately, I think if Liverpool get the first goal in this game, Liverpool run out winners. So I do think, like, yes, we got 1 point, but it's 2 points dropped, and those 2 points probably is because of Darwin Núñez's miss. Yeah, in that first half, he looked good. He looked like he was taking those shots on from distance, like he found his range midweek against Bournemouth and stuff, and we were going to see a really good performance. You know, he misses that one, then he nearly puts one into the back of the net. It's a good save by their goalkeeper after that. He didn't seem to let it affect him too much, and I don't think we were playing into his hands. We were playing into Luton's hand by whipping those balls in and stuff. But yeah, it was, you just can't miss a sitter like that for us. In a game like that, we needed to get that 1 goal up, spread them out a little bit, then they create space for us, and then we'd hit them, maybe get the second or hopefully a third goal off the back of it. But we didn't, we missed it. It's a Yemeshin chance, it's a Yemeshin for him. Andy Walker's right, too many chances and no goal from it. Trapman says he can't score sitters. Núñez, you're messing at times, but also sound. Barnabas just says you're messing. Danzatron says he only scores bangers. Every time we think he is good enough, he proves us wrong by missing a sitter. Says Spirit. Freedom James just had to hit the target from 1 yard out. Yeah, he did. Oof. Oh, my word. Mo Salah. I'm going to have to put him in there as well, to be honest. I just don't think he was anywhere near involved enough into this game. You know, we've seen again, probably over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I think Salah's form hasn't quite been there. He's been okay. We've been okay with him because he's been scoring those goals and getting those assists and stuff like that. And he should have had an assist there, and he probably should have had a header goal as well. But ultimately, his all-round play and that build-up play, when we needed him to pull out wide on that left-hand side and create things, it wasn't even, like, did he really even attempt to go past the man this time? It felt like his confidence has knocked a little bit, and it wasn't a good performance from Salah today. It really wasn't. Worst player on the pitch with Macca, says Mark Fegan. Salah must be in the pitch then below your messing. If Núñez was your messing, Salah was appalling today. Appalling, says Bear. Andrew Walker says it felt like Salah wasn't even on the pitch, and I can't disagree with that one. So that's the first 11 done. I'll bring the subs up. First and foremost, obviously we had the triple substitution first. I'm going to put Elliott right up here. I thought, you know, he was one of the bright sparks of the day for me. You know, he comes on, and again, he has an impact on the game. And, you know, I say that word so often when I'm doing these shows because that's what it ultimately comes down to, isn't it? It is about having an impact on the match. Harvey Elliott has an impact on the match. He gets the assist. It wasn't just that. He was doing other things as well. So, yeah, I think Harvey Elliott, can hold his head up high today, and one of the few, I think, Liverpool players who'll be okay with his performance. Obviously, he'll be disappointed. He feels it like us because he's a Liverpool fan. Okay, Sam Wick Productions talking about Darwin Núñez. Says Darwin has to work on different finishes. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. He's too stiff, scuffing the shots, needs to contort his body more and get over the ball, i.e. Zlatan. I'll leave that type of analysis to you because I can't analyse a player's shooting positions and his body and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll leave that to you and I'll take your word for that. Diaz and Elliott was sound. Elliott was high sound, maybe spying into Boss. So yeah. And then I've got a nice comment here. I don't think Gakpo was very good, to be honest with you. I don't think he was quite in your messing. But JRD says Gak was cack, which has tickled me a little bit there, to be fair. He was, just, again, invisible seems to be the word that was used for Jota earlier on in the show. I think Gakpo was in the same sort of boat, to be honest with you. And it's not happened for him this season, has it really? I mean, he's got the odd, goal here and there, and it's been in front of the sticks and all that type of stuff, and his positioning's good. He finds himself in those areas. But today against that staunch defence from Luton, my word, that's saying something, isn't it? A side that had chipped 20 goals before today, but he did defend well. You've got to give him the credit there. I think Costas was a bit poo as well, to be honest with you. I'd edge him into your messing. Maybe a little bit higher, something like that. Again, I understood it. I even suggested that we might do something like that moving into the second half, but when it comes to it, his delivery wasn't good enough. So yeah, it wasn't good from him. LFC Mav talking about the Christmas jumper. It really is. The Christmas jumper is absolutely incredible. Chloe was wearing it excellently. Costas is a one-sick pony. If his crossing isn't there, it's like we play a man down, says Trey. Bears is looking at rubbish. The whole thing is an embarrassment. Yep. Yeah. You're right. Fuck. And then I think I've saved the best to last. I'm going to give Luis Diaz absolute boss, because what he has done by just even taking to the field today when everything else is going on in his life, and then him actually getting a goal, getting in the position. I know it comes off his shoulder and all that type of stuff, but my word, Lucho, what a man, to be able to take to the field, to prove to Liverpool fans that he wants to be there, that he wanted to play. It was his decision, everything else, and then to come in and have that impact and have that moment. We weren't able to dwell on that moment enough, and you feel sorry for him for that, because we should have been able to get that message across, but Liverpool were in, try and get 3 points mode. And we were rushed on into the end of the game and stuff. But yeah, massive shout out to Diaz. Once again, just showing why we love him. He's absolutely superb, and he's made a difference for us today. So Craig Flynn says man of the match was Diaz. Bear says God bless Lucho. Mark O'Donnell says just love him. Lucho was boss all day, man of the match. Costa should have gone in the summer. Waste of a shirt. And Diaz boss gave us the width we needed to stretch the game, and love Lucho. Mr. Dr. Masturbator, lovely, says Diaz, notable shout out to Elliott, though, was my man of the match. And Sims has just said Lucho, and Ash Tomlinson says Luis Diaz, man of the match for his mental strength alone. Steel Hall just says Lucho as well. And Paulino says Lucho. And that, I think, is where we are at for the player rankings. So there you go. That has been it. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. Of course, don't forget to like the video. Thank you for joining us. We've got loads more content on Red Men Plus. We've got the instant match reaction, which will be out. It's been streamed live while I've been doing these shows. And we've also got the player rating show where we give the numbers to the players and stuff as well. So yeah, I think they're going to be a little bit more harsh than me because, yeah, Chloe's on that show. So yeah, if you want more Liverpool content in your life, then get over to redmenplus.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. Onwards and upwards. Ta-ra.
Hey, thank you so much for checking out the content today. If you want to get your name in and amongst these wonderful people, then head to redmenplus.com. Join as a legend tier subscriber. You're going to get free merchandise codes. You're going to get in our Discord, and you're going to get your name at the end of YouTube videos.